Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com. ZNation. ZNation. Where consciousness is queen, love really is the answer. And making a difference is on the menu. ZNation. Organic beats and inspiring treats. Get your weekly dose of vitamin Z now. This is ZNation on SoFloRadio.com.
Hello, world.
What is up, everyone? This is the Z-Nation Radio Show, and I am Zayna de Gaia.
And I am Emily Sunset Martinez.
And we are broadcasting from Hollywood, Florida. Thanks for tuning in. Z-Nation is a podcast radio talk show that airs out of Hollywood, Florida. We shine the light on what's good in the world, people doing brilliant things, and transmissions that are awakening humanity. In other words, we get to hang out with the coolest people.
Right.
We welcome inspiring guests onto the show that share about their conscious lifestyles, their conscious businesses, and just really inspire us to be the best that we can be. And when we know that that's going on, when we know there's people out there doing good work, then, we're not alone.
Straight up.
We're in this together, y'all. And today we have
special
really
guest.
special. If y'all have been tuning into Z-Nation, this guest, Livia, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Livia Caudell was our very, very first guest ever. Numero uno.
It's come full circle.
Oh my God. I am so excited to catch up with you, Mama, and just share and discover what you have been creating out in the world.
Can't wait.
Yeah. I was trying to make the word world sound like a Snoop Dogg word, like Wurzel.
Oh my God.
Like planet
Oh
Earth, So that's why I stumbled on that word for a second. I was trying to sound like Snoop, but it didn't work.
You're so creative, Z. Always looking for the creative ways.
Right.
At least you try. Some people don't even try. You try.
I think I've just learned to fall in front of people so much that it becomes like less horrific. And I think, Livia, you taught me that, that's the world of freestyle and of improvisation, of dancing with life, and it could just be like, it could show up like going to an open mic and let me do some freestyle, and maybe I won't find the words, and maybe they won't rhyme, and maybe I'll look like a fool, but that's cool.
That's cool. You just flow with it.
Fools
just go
are
with
cool.
it.
Oh, cool. So, Livia, we're going to get into your world really quickly. That's my intention. We just want to really find out what you've been up to, and it's just awesome to listen to you speak. So, but I wanted to share a little bit about, I was thinking about the topic for today, and I wanted to share a little bit about our creators. It's a topic that's dear to my heart. And when I say creators, I mean, we all have in common. Each one of us came through a woman, a mother, and a father. A little spermie and an egg came together, and there was this freaking miracle. I mean, the sperms are trying, and they go out, and there's millions of them, I don't know, thousands of them, and they're trying to get to that egg, and then there's spermicide and condoms, and
then one.
Maybe.
What? Maybe. I mean, they make it, but just the uniqueness of that, and it is said, and I love when people say this. We choose our parents. You chose your parents, the New Age people say. You chose them. So we choose them in order to learn the lessons that our soul needs to learn. But what I wanted to bring this up was not so much to spit out some New Age spiritual cliches, but to share my experience of, looking through the different spiritual books, the religions, the different paths. There seems to be a common message that says, honor thy mother and thy father. And translated in different words, what I've understood it to be is, really be complete with your relationship with your creators, the people that brought you to this planet. Have that when you think about them, you have a sense of peace and gratitude and love in your heart. And I think that's really important if we're interested in growing our spirituality, to grow on your spiritual path, whatever that is, whatever you follow.
Right.
It seems to be a common message. And I share this because I myself personally, it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge staying in that space with my parents. And, I've done work like the Landmark Forum. I've done primal work, journaling, just, I've done the work to keep forgiving and looking where I can take responsibility. And sometimes I still find it challenging. And it's a moment to moment thing. And my commitment is that I'm free. And ain't nothing going to get in the way of that. Not me, not my resentments, not my attachment to things, not my needing to be loved a certain way. Like my freedom, I'm no longer going to lose my freedom at the expense of those things.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people get confused with. Honor thy mother and thy father. They forget their own personal freedom and their own personal goals and what they want for their lives. And they feel like, oh, well, in order for me to honor my parents, well, then I need to become this, that, or the third, or I need to be this, that, and the third. And it's like, no, like, be you, honor them, respect them for who they are. Yes, they're going to have their opinions and they're going to have their being, but it's like, you have to live your life too.
Live your best life.
Yeah. As long as I always say, as long as you're not bringing down your parents, like you're not stopping them from letting them do the things that they want to do for themselves, then it's all gravy. Like everything's all good. But at the same time, it's just like, I feel like a lot of people, and I had that fear too, oh my God, like when I decided to like stop going to school, oh my God, what is my parents gonna think? Are they still gonna love me? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, whatever I decide to do, it's my life. As long as I'm not bringing anyone else down, like physically or health wise, then everything is good. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. So I think that's what people need to like kind of remember.
Well, there's such a, when I say get complete with your parents, it doesn't mean like if you don't want to be around a parent, let's say, and people will say, well, how can I, be complete with my parents? I don't want to be around them. It's not healthy for me. It doesn't work for me. Well, you could still get complete with people and without being with them. And it's really who you're being. Like when you think about your creators, like, can you feel this like sense of gratitude, peace, and love every time you think about them? And that's the sign of like spiritual growth. It's like, it's like the passageway. Like that's like the first step, If you're still incomplete with your parents, when you think about your mom and your dad and you're still feeling resentful.
You're still like, I fucking hate your guts.
Or it could just be, could be very subtle too, because a lot of us have done a lot of work with this. I mean, I'm just present to myself how much work I've done around this and how much I've been seeking out this peace. And, and I'm so present that my life doesn't work as long as I hate my parents. And that's for all of us, our lives just don't work. And you could pretend all you want for as long as you want. And it just will come down to just find peace with that. And then things will start to like fly.
Well, like you always say, Z, if you hate one person or dislike, hate one person, then you can't really truly love. You say something along the lines of that. So it's just like, if you're still not complete with your parents and you still have some type of resentment towards them, then you can't really like
that's the one thing is like, love yourself and love your creator. And otherwise all that other love it's bullshit. It's not the purest love that you can have. And perhaps, like bullshit love is the segue to pure love. And it is, right? We have to know what it is and to know what it is. And that's the duality of this world. And like clearly what we call love is not really love. In the spiritual circles and the conscious circles, we're all conditionally loving each other one way or another. I mean, maybe we're, it's what we would love to discover, but perhaps we're focusing on the wrong relationships. The relationship with the one. That's the one. And that's the one that will teach us and that will really bring us there. Oh, this is deep. Well, I came in deep today, so I had to go deep a little bit, okay?
It's all good. Go as deep as you want, girl.
I feel like
deep and raw.
It's so
That's
raw
how it's
for
supposed
me.
to
It's
be.
so real, and I know it's raw and real for a lot of people, and I know this. I know a lot of us pretend like we're so cool because we got it together in our communities, and we're so cool with the people who accept us and love us exactly how we are, which is why we love going to yoga studios and being in these communities, and then we freaking go home and we're a mess. I know that happens to a lot of people because you go home and you're not accepted exactly how you are, and you start getting resentful and you start getting pissed off, and I don't want to be an angry person. I want to do yoga. And we are, I'll remind us again, we are human beings, human beings with extraordinary potential and human beings with extraordinary depth to us. Both ways. We're like super bright and we're super dark, and hallelujah for both. Livia, how you doing over there, mama?
Amazing. I'm just soaking in the conversation.
What do you think?
Yeah, well, how do you feel about that?
Well, what I was present to as you were speaking, Z, is that recently I just went to Dhaka, Bangladesh. And that's not India. I thought it was. I got made fun of a lot for being very American. So anyways, but when I was there, I had an opportunity to do a public seminar and got to speak to some business professionals. And what came through, because I always just channel my talks, free flow, right? That's just how I roll. So what came through me is how I discovered my heart's intelligence and the journey that led up to that. And it was totally inside of the conversation that you're speaking about, which is my parents. How, when we're born into the world, right? It's like our parents are our guides, right? They're the ones that are telling us what to do, when to do it, right? For the majority of our young adult life. So it's interesting, how much I was angry at my mom for telling me my dreams were a pie in the sky when she asked me what I wanted to do with my life. And I told her. And I'll never forget, I was 16 and she says, honey, I want to have a conversation with you. And so we sit down at the kitchen table and she says, what do you want to do after high school? And I said, Mom, I was so excited. I was so passionate. I was like, I want to move to Florida. I want to start a business and make millions of dollars. And she was not as passionate and excited as I was. I don't know why. I mean, hello.
Sounded exciting.
Yeah. So, she did what any mother would do, which was she was a little concerned. And she looked at me and she said, honey, I think your dreams are a little pie in the sky. I think you should go to college and become an engineer. Right. So, but I couldn't hear anything after that. All I heard was my mom doesn't believe in me, right? So we all have our own version of this. And Z, going through Landmark, this work, this is what we discover. And so for about 7 years, I lived a very sad, lonely, and depressing life. I ended up moving to Florida when I was 18. I worked for a $250 million company. I was traveling the United States, selling real estate education. I started my own business. I had a 3-bedroom house, gated community, fully furnished, BMW convertible. Like I was living the life for 18, became a manager by the time I was 19. I was being trained and developed in ways that most people don't ever get the opportunity to experience. And yet I was still miserable. I was still depressed on the weekends using drugs and alcohol.
Did you feel like you should have gone to college? Were you still not feeling good about what you were doing?
No, not at all. In fact, not at all did I ever stop and think maybe I should go to college. No.
But did you feel like you wanted to make your mom happy?
Well, that was really what it was. Because it was like that day she told me my dreams were pie in the sky. I took on being determined to prove her wrong.
Yeah.
So for the next 7 years, I spent my life inside of the context, inside of this, I got to prove her and everybody else wrong.
So tiring.
And that's why I was so depressed. And here I am, I'm living this life, right? And you would think I would be as happy as could be. And I wasn't. I was miserable.
Wow.
I was absolutely miserable. And I'll never forget, it was in the Landmark Forum that I had that breakthrough. And I went up to my mom and I said, Mom, do you remember when you told me my dreams were pie in the sky and I should go to college? She was like, yeah. I'm like, well, I've been on a mission to prove you wrong, and I was going to write a book called My Mom Told Me My Dreams Are a Pie in the Sky, and I Proved Her Wrong. I was. That's how real it was for me. And I've spent the last 7 years trying to prove you wrong. And I've been miserable. I've been sad. And at this point, I'm like in tears. And she embraces me. And she's like, honey, I just wanted you to get a good education. You know, but, you know, it's just for 7 years, I was blaming my mom, you know, and I was also allowing my father to dictate my life and tell me how I should live my life. So not only was I making my mom wrong, I was also, you know, allowing my dad to really push what he wanted on me, his dreams. And a part of my talk that I gave was going back to Steve Jobs' quote, which is don't live other people's dogma, which is the result of other people's thinking and their opinion.
Straight up.
And I allowed that, you know, I allowed my dad's opinions, you know, his thoughts of what I should do with my life. I allowed that to become my own. And I didn't, and then he says, and then have the courage to follow your own heart and intuition. And this is my life's work the mission that I'm on currently, at least, is teaching people how to, 1, tap into their heart's intelligence, 2, discover their true authentic purpose, not from what your parents think you should do or from what they said you can't do, and not coming from approving wrong. So for 7 years, I chased money because I was like on a mission to prove that I could succeed. I wasn't coming from my authentic heart space of like what I really have been sent to the planet to fulfill.
Olivia.
So, yeah.
Could we just take a breath? This is so deep. You know, I just, there's something I'm present to. You know, when you were speaking about how you allowed your dad's opinion and everything to drive you in a certain way. There's so much wisdom in that. It's like, you know, growing up as a little girl, little Livia, like you weren't taught to think for yourself. Our culture teaches us to take that on. And it's just this, I just felt this like deep warmth and compassion towards you and towards humanity. And, you know, the gift that you have is this awakening, like to be responsible, take responsibility for what you made up when life happened is so freaking powerful. And I acknowledge you for being that person out there that's been that in the world. And that's truth. You're like a truth speaker, Olivia. Speaking the truth. Thank you. Wow.
Wow, thank you.
We didn't even talk about this before, how like me talking about this, how amazingly well it goes with what you're up to right now, Mama.
We did not plan it, and this just goes to show
But
when
you know
you surrender, the universe just puts people, places, and things together perfectly.
Well, we never planned anything really for the show anyway. Like, we have like a somewhat of a layout, but like everything is very much so freestyle. Like,
Natural is so natural.
Whatever bullshit or whatever stuff we're on our Dharma path is coming up, that's what we talk about, you know?
Love it.
It's like, that's it.
Olivia, I called her and I said, babe, let's catch up on the show. She's like, that's how I roll, baby. Let's catch up.
That's how me and my friends catch up. We invite each other on our shows. Not a big deal.
Listen, we're going to take a short break and we're going to go back right into Livia Caudell, conscious entrepreneur, visionary leader, author, transformational speaker, and a coach on a mission, and just amazing artist, human being, my friend. Woo! We'll be right back, you guys. Listen to the messages. Listen to our sponsors. Thank you so much for supporting the Z Nation radio show as we blast into the world, sharing love and light. We'll be right back, you guys, right here on SoFloRadio.com.
Tune in to get tuned in. This is Z Nation on SoFloRadio.com.
Add a twist of yoga.
Yoga Twist with Julie.
A great way to integrate yoga, meditation, and lots of fun.
Promote family bonding. Help with flexibility and exercise.
Julie has been teaching kids for over 8 years in after-school programs, summer camps, and local studios.
Book a group, family, or one-on-one session now. Email me, yogatwistjulie@gmail.com.
Follow Yoga Twist Julie on Instagram and like Yoga Twist on Facebook for great family lifestyle tips and Yoga Twist events.
Omar is a certified hypnotist with an intuitive and gentle approach that empowers his clients, allowing them to realize their own wisdom. Personally, I'd been stuck in a heartbreak, and with Omar's help, I got to the root of my suffering and my attachment to staying in relationships that no longer served me. I instantly felt lighter and free from resentment for the first time in years. Contact Omar at 305-343-9210 and cause a breakthrough in your life.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Clark, and I'm a yoga teacher and student at I Love Yoga Studio. It's been my privilege to practice, learn, and expand in this place of ever-evolving love and spiritual growth. When you visit, you'll most likely be greeted with a welcome home, and that's exactly how you will feel, at home and free to be. The studio offers yoga classes that meet you at your level of practice with affordable prices. So check out our schedule at www.iloveyogastudio.com. See you on the mat. Namaste.
Join the ZNation team as a marketing partner. We are always looking for conscious, sustainable businesses to support and share with our growing community. If your business is one that serves humanity and you want the world to know, we want to help you grow. Sponsorship opportunities are available for all budgets and flavors. For more info, call us at 954-604-1290 or visit ZNationRadio.com.
Now, back to Z Nation, your weekly dose of inspiration on SoFloRadio.com.
Woo!
Like being a rock in a got my fences, I never let them down. When it comes to love, I keep my senses, I don't get kicked around.
Come on.
I shivered once, you broke into my soul, the damage is done now, I'm out of control. How did you get to me? No one else on earth could ever hurt me, break my heart the way you do. No one else on earth was ever love me like, no one can love me like you.
Oh, yeah.
Man, Livia, when you rip that one, is like, it's just, my heart just goes. The first time I heard Livia sing this song in karaoke, my pants dropped. It was like, is that an expression? I don't know.
Yeah. She make the panties drop.
My singing makes the ladies' pants go down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So Livia, you girl, so since you've been on the show last, we had our anniversary May 19th. That was the very first show. No, sorry, May 19th? No.
March 19th.
Excuse me, March 19th. We're now May 25th. So March 19th, we had 1 year. That was when you came on the show last, Mama.
Wow.
So that's like a year.
Dang.
A
So
year
much
and
has
some
transpired.
change. And what have you been up to?
Well, I have been traveling the world.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I
yeah.
spent some time in England for a few months, and I was doing some internet marketing workshops there. And, just doing a lot of self-discovery of, like, what's next. When I was living at the ashram, right, I was in a place of, like, namaste and, going
Hare
and loving.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Hare.
Hare, 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 hare. I was doing a lot of that. And, really what came up for me was like, I was really ready. I was ready to make a bold next move into the world. And so I remember being at the ashram, visualizing myself traveling the world and learning everything about internet marketing. And I manifested a gig doing exactly that. And so that's what I've been doing, for the last 8 months, is traveling the world and teaching people how to market themselves online and make money online.
Wow.
Yeah. And then just recently, the last 3 weeks, I'm really starting to launch LiviaCaudell.com. And so what that looks like is me speaking on these topics that I was just talking about, which is, coming into your heart, discovering your true authentic purpose, and then turning that purpose into profits.
Come on, girl. That's so sexy.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's what you're putting out into the world. Like, so you've been traveling and learning, and now you're starting to launch your thing, Livia Caudell.
Yes, that is correct.
That's really, really exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you've been speaking about. What have you been sharing out in the world, and where have you been going?
Yeah, so I just went to Dhaka, Bangladesh, just about 3 weeks ago. Went there with a good friend of mine, Roger Salam, who is the CEO of a company called The Winner's Circle. And so he's from there, and Muhammad Yunus, you ladies probably know of him. He's the Nobel Peace Prize winner of the microcredit. And he is based in Dhaka. And so what's interesting about this is at the beginning of the year, I wrote out Livia's 2016 Global Conscious Mission Tour. And get this, the first place was to go to the Conscious Capitalism Conference. Went there in April, made tons of contacts. It was amazing.
Come on.
Wow.
Then the second thing I wrote down was going to Dhaka, Bangladesh for Muhammad Yunus's Social Business Day, meeting him and taking his full immersion course to learn about social business. So fast forward a couple months, I meet this guy, Roger, who's from Dhaka, and invites me to go to Dhaka, and we went to Muhammad Yunus's center, and I got to see all of that.
Wow.
Didn't get to meet him this time around, but we're actually going back in July, and we're going to do the Social Business Day, which is like 2,000 people from all around the world come, and Muhammad Yunus is there, and all these amazing people inside of social business that are creating.
What is this social business?
Yeah, so social business is a term that Muhammad Yunus coined. So he won the Nobel Peace Prize for this. So what a social business is it's the heart of a non-profit, but it is a for-profit business model.
I love that.
Yeah, so basically all the profits that come in do not go back into the stakeholders' pockets. It goes back into the business to be able to, market and create more, and goes back into the services and products.
That's so common
I love
sense.
that.
Yeah. And then Livia, what is conscious entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so I'm actually really inventing that. I'm reinventing what is conscious entrepreneurship. Because a lot of people say, well, I'm a social entrepreneur, I'm a conscious entrepreneur. And so what does that mean? Well, here's what I'm making that mean. So social business is, again, taking those profits and putting them back into the company. The stakeholders get zero profits. You would get maybe like a salary, like $30,000, $50,000, whatever you put into the business. But a conscious entrepreneur isn't necessarily going to take all the profits and put them back into, I'm all for capitalism. I'm all for living a great lifestyle and making money. So a conscious entrepreneur is someone who makes money, and builds a business, a traditional business, but you're doing it from an aware, awakened consciousness. So you're bringing a higher level of consciousness to your business, love, care, all of these ways of being, purpose, making a difference, coming from that context. And, and then also considering the planet. I feel like a lot of times we as human beings, because we live on this planet, it's almost like we're separate of the planet.
It's true.
Yeah, and so it's like, there's obviously we're on a conscious show, so most people who are tuning in get this conversation, but there's a lot of people in the world that don't still.
What's it like when you go to these business things and you share about this? Is it like what's
it's like jaws drop, right? It's like the first time they've heard about this.
What do you say? This is so cool. I'm really intrigued.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting. So, again, I spoke in front of a group of business professionals in Dhaka, and I was bringing about these concepts of bringing a higher level of consciousness to business. And, I think everybody intuitively knows, that this is the right way to go, right?
Yeah.
And yet there's such a huge breakdown in the world and such a huge separation.
Yeah.
So it's like people, you know, they get it. They get it and like, oh my God, this is so, it just inspires you just speaking about it. It's like you can't help but get excited about it because it is the divine nature and human expression of human beings is to be that. And there's been such a suppression on that I feel like when it gets talked about, it starts like creating this like, oh, this feeling of like, oh my God, yes.
Well,
you know, it's like
everybody yearns for that. And then and also what comes up, it's like, are there structures in place in the business world to support this?
That's what I mean. I think
like the culture has been, you know, we're just accustomed to something else.
Yeah.
So what comes next?
Well, exactly. And so I'm in the process. There's some things that are like sizzling and stewing. So I'm not going to reveal exactly all that's happening, but I am on a mission to create a How to Become a Conscious Entrepreneur course.
Yeah.
And creating a community, basically kind of like a conscious entrepreneurship academy. You know, like, okay, so here I am. You know, I want to do something great with my life. I want to be able to support myself and my family and be able to travel and do all the things that I want to do in life.
Yeah.
You know, so to give you from beginning to end to support you, to be able to, be able to come into your heart space. A lot of people are so disconnected from that. Like, and the importance and the science of that, because it wasn't until I really dug into the science and really could understand what was happening in my physiology. You know, when I'm connecting with my heart and my mind become one. And I send a coherent waveform basically to the universe, which gives me instant access to this universal consciousness around me. Like, what? Like, there's science to prove that now? Like, that's so cool.
I love how excited Livia gets around science.
I love it. What? I remember she was the first person to tell me that love only vibrates at 4% or something in the world right now. You know, that was one of the last things you told me. And I was like, what?
Yeah, so imagine if everybody was living from their heart and everybody was living fulfilled. Imagine what the world would look like. Like, we want to have war. We want to have freaking kids going hungry at night. Like, are you kidding me? It's 2016, people. Like, we're so behind. So behind. So, you know, I'm really just bringing the best of the best. I'm partnering with some amazing, influential people who, you know, already have a lot of this stuff, like conscious business education, but it's being taught, of course, in colleges right now. And it's like, screw that. I don't want to go to college. I don't want to take 50 courses on things that I don't need.
Yeah, because you're not just taking the course on that. Then you got to take all these Gordon Rule classes and all this BS. And it's like, no, I just want to focus on what I want to do. Like, boom, that's it.
Wow, Olivia, I just had this vision of, you know, having you on the show in a couple of years. No, but you know, this is amazing. Like this community. Yeah. It's like, what is the saying? Like, you know, if you have it, build it and they will come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like social entrepreneurs are in the closet.
Straight up.
Yeah.
It's just like people don't even know where to start, you know? But then when you come with the conversation, it's like, well, heck yeah. Why would we not care about the planet as we build our businesses? Why would we not care for people as we build businesses?
Word. Well, like, that's what I want for myself. I feel like everything I'm creating is like, in some way, I want to keep the world better and give back. But at the same time, it's just like, I know the type of person I am. I know the type of lifestyle I want. I have goals too, you know? So it's like finding that balance, and like you're creating that balance of like
in the
having
businesses.
All that. Yeah, in businesses.
100%. You know, and educate, if you actually to look up the word and what it really truly means, it means to draw out of. So it's kind of like, you know, when we talk about a want that people didn't even know that they had. So like, I believe that everybody's born an entrepreneur. And Muhammad Yunus, that's actually his quote. He says he believes everybody is born an entrepreneur. And I would even go as further to say that everybody is born a conscious entrepreneur. So what does that mean? I believe that the human spirit has been sent here to make a difference. And that is what a conscious entrepreneur does. A conscious entrepreneur makes a difference in everything that they do. It is the context in which you live your life. But that has to be drawn out of, that has to be educated, right? So like, that's really the work that I'm creating right now is how to draw that out of people so that they realize that and discover that for themselves. And then how do we give them the structures to fulfill that and go and monetize? Like, I love money. 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 And I don't care.
I love money.
Who knows it? You know, it's so funny. Back in the day, I mean, yeah, I was probably chasing money in different ways. But, you know, I had so many of my friends say, wow, all you do is chase money and blah, 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 blah. It's like we have this whole conversation on money. So that's one thing I'm out to transform too, is the mindset around money. Money is energy. You know?
That energy, and it moves energy.
Yeah, and you got to be able to move that energy, you know, and there's nothing wrong with bartering and trading and using your resources. However, we do live in a world where money is, you know, is it's a big thing. Like
exactly.
It's used, you know, it's like you can't say, hey, you know, I want to go to Dhaka, Bangladesh. Can I, Mr. Airlines, can I trade my services to go? Like, no, they don't accept that. They accept credit card, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, you know. So anyways, but I'm just being funny here. But, you know, I'm very passionate about people being able to monetize and turn their purpose into profits. And there's nothing wrong with that. Doctors charge, right? Like, you don't go to the doctors for free, people, right?
Yes.
Like, you got to eat at the end of the day. So there's nothing that really hurts my heart more than seeing people with these amazing talents and they're not making money doing it. And then they're suffering. Their health is suffering. Their families are suffering.
And the world is suffering.
And the world is suffering. Right, exactly. So you're doing a disservice by not monetizing your talents and giving that to the world. So that's what I'm in the creation station of right now. Z is creating a program of how to do that. And, you know, the last 3 weeks was a part of what my course is going to be. So again, we're going back to Dhaka, Bangladesh at the end of July. And what I've been doing on these trips, after Dhaka, I went to Dubai and I spoke there. And then I went to Bahrain and I spoke there and got this like certificate of gratitude from the freaking governor of Bahrain.
Come
on!
I spoke at their social media forum, 2016 social media forum, where he was there. And I mean, it was just an amazing experience. But anyways, I say that all to say that the last 3 weeks has been very strategic. They have been strategic in the sense that these trips were solely to brand and market myself as a speaker, as someone who's up to something in the world. So I was not only speaking, but I also was interviewed on the local TV stations, put in the newspapers and the radio, because media is what gets people's attention, right?
So true. I always tell people, if you don't know about social media and how to use it, it's like it's a powerful tool. If you don't know how to use it, you better find out how to use it, because it runs the world right now. It really does.
It's like putting yourself out there, Olivia, in a big way.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. So that's a part of the turning the purpose into profits is...
And you're beating it. You're doing it.
Yes. How to get you out there, just like I'm doing. Get you international speaking gigs. Get you on international TV. Get you interviewed. Get you so out there that people are like, holy crap, who is this person? So that's going to be a part of, you know, this course that I'm creating is getting people into the media, getting their voices heard, and then turning that media and turning it into products like info products, or using it in a sales funnel, or using it in some way that you can monetize it and start making money.
Our pants are falling. I'm just saying.
This is really exciting to hear. Like,
oh, Olivia, can we talk a little bit about the heart stuff? Can you talk science to us?
Yes. Oh my God.
Tell us about the heart science stuff.
Yeah. Well, so one of my favorite things about this is, first of all, this is from the Institute of Heart Math. And so a lot of people, you know, Tony Robbins even uses their technology in his Unleash the Power Within. Did you ladies know that?
No. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, this is something that's worldwide being spoken about. And I think that it's not spoken about enough, because I will never forget when I was there at the Institute of Heart Math in California. And Roland McCready, he's the lead researcher and scientist there. And he was like telling us about how they're creating these sensors that are detecting the Earth's electromagnetic field. Like, what? And they have like 14 of them, like all around the world. And then once a month, they have a meditation room where you enter into this meditation room, and everybody at the same time stops, comes into their heart, and focuses on gratitude. And what they're detecting is that if we can get enough people coming into their heart space at the same time, will it show a difference in the Earth's electromagnetic field? Well, past research has shown that this is absolutely true, but now they're doing it on a global level. And I haven't even checked in a few years to see what's happening, but still, it was like, once I got that, like, wow, my energetic field, like who I'm being in the moment, not only impacts me, it impacts the world.
Everyone.
Wow.
Like, that's freaking huge. Talk about being socially responsible. It was like that moment I got that I not only just make a difference, I make a big difference. Like, I could cause global transformation by just being peaceful in this moment and grateful.
Science too. It's all science.
They are. I think it's one of the most profound science experiments that has ever been conducted. And the most important, because like I said, once you can really get that, your whole world shifts. Like, literally, I could feel like the neural pathways in my brain starting to alter. Like, I wanted to become a better person. You know, I started being more conscious about who I was being in the moment, because I knew that who I was being was affecting this Earth's electromagnetic field around me.
Whoa,
So,
wake up call, wake up call. Woo.
huge, right? So it's like, if you want to be someone who transforms the planet, you want to be someone who makes a difference in the world, first thing to start with is you, right? It's like
Always.
Gandhi says, be the change that you want to see. But you know, it's like all those cliche phrases used to piss me off, to be honest. It was like, let go and let God. Well, I used to get pissed. Like, well, what does that mean? Let go and let God. Like, you know, and then be the change you want to see. Like, what do you mean be the change? Like, how do I be, right? It's like, I feel like people deal with these inner conflicts. So it's like, we got to start there. Like, what does it mean to really let go and let God? Like, get into your heart space. Like, how do you do that? So I give you actual tools and the science and show you on a live screen, because it wasn't until I could actually see this transformation on a live screen that I could actually start making the internal shifts. It was no
tell
longer
us more about the live screen, because I don't think everybody knows what that means.
Yeah, so HeartMath invented this technology. It's called the M-Wave technology. I'm like, I could sell this for them. In fact, actually, I do, but but it shows your heart rhythms on a live screen. So you can connect to this device. It has electrodes that hook up to your ear, and it detects your heart's rhythm. So when you're in a state of frustration, your heart rhythms literally look jaggedy on the screen. They look like very mountainous. It looks like, it's like 1 foot on the brake, 1 foot on the gas, and it's just like very jaggedy, and you're just putting a lot of wear and tear on the body when you're in this state of frustration, right? But then when you alter into this space of gratitude, what's interesting is your heart rhythms no longer look jaggedy. They're sin-like beautiful waves, and they're just flowing, and your frequency totally shifts, and they're now showing that when you come into that space of gratitude, your heart rhythms become identical to the Earth's heart rhythms. The Earth has a heartbeat, and they can monitor that. So when you're in a space of gratitude, you literally become one with the Earth.
That's
Hello.
crazy. Wow.
Like, you know, in yoga, like, okay, let's all like get centered and like peace and love. Like, you know, there's like this whole hocus pocus. Oh, they're a bunch of yogis. But no, this is like a science. Like, people need to like wake up to like, we're not the weird ones. You know, I love Cryon. And I love your bro, Sammy, for turning me on to Cryon, because Cryon was like, we need to start acting as if we're not the crazy ones. We're not the esoteric ones. We're actually the normal ones.
This is the real deal.
This is the real deal. So that's why I love HeartMath. I get very passionate about it, because it's for the naysayers and the people that kind of make fun of the kumbaya, go hug a tree people. It's like, hey, jerk, like, go look at the science. You know?
It's science, and then you're also bringing it to the business world, and there's this like, it's such a freaking big missing. I used to talk a lot about it, you know, with the shift going from, you know, in 2012 and going into the new age and moving into a more feminine space. You know, it's been said moving into the fourth dimension is like moving into the fourth chakra, which is the heart. And it's like the world has been run with this like masculine way of running things, and it's translated into our businesses. You can see it. And Livia, I so acknowledge you for what you're bringing. Like, this is part of the love evolution that is happening on the planet, is transforming the culture of business.
And when you think about it, I'm sorry to interrupt, like most of the money and what rules the world are the big corporate businesses. So like if we can change the hearts and minds of those people, it's going to make a big impact on a global scale to a lot of other places.
Yeah, and you know, here's what I want to say about this, is that there is a huge movement that's happening inside of this conversation. There is no one person that's really spearheading this. I mean, you can look at communities all around. Like, Z, you're doing it in your own way right now, right? Like, I'm doing it in my own way. Like, you know, Whole Foods, they're doing it in their own way. Conscious capitalism, they're doing it in their own way. So what I'm basically saying, and what I'm inviting everybody to, how I used to hear things is like, well, how can I be a part of that? Like, I'm not creating anything, like, right? So it's like, no, we're all here for the same mission, and your voice is just as important as mine is, and you're going to deliver it in a completely different way and touch the lives of people that I cannot touch.
Straight up.
We need everybody right now.
Everybody.
Nobody is left out of this conversation. So my invitation to people is wake up to your true potential. And that's what I'm out here to fulfill, is get that little heart within you tapped on, turned on, tuned in, connect with your purpose, your mission, why you've been sent here to this planet. And let's get you making money so you can feed yourself, feed your family, and be able to live a life you love.
Livia, let's do some practical stuff. So I love it. So, you know, like you were saying, like, how do I open my heart? How do I do this? Where do I start? You have like Joe Blow walking down the street. What do I do? Let's do it.
Okay. Let's do it right now as we speak. So here's the one thing that you're going to want to do. So you can use this technique anytime. So it's like you're never going to always be coming from your heart, right? So first I want to make that disclaimer. You're never going to always be coming from your heart. I had this like perfectionist attitude where it was like, oh, I got to be always coming from my heart. Well, nah, that's just not going to happen. So first it's acknowledging, you know, that you're never going to be there 100% of the time. So allow yourself compassion to be human. You're going to have your ego come up. You're going to come from your head. But this is about ratio. How often and more often can you be coming from your heart rather than your head, your ego? So this is a very simple tool, and this is heart math, so I do want to credit them. But the first step is to acknowledge when you're in a space that's causing you stress, right? You usually can feel it on a physiological level. Sometimes your heart's racing, sometimes you're tight. You know, you're just like, you don't feel alive. You don't feel peaceful. We all know when we're there, right? So it's acknowledging that and then stopping it. And I think that is one of the most challenging, I don't want to say hard, the most challenging thing to do is to stop yourself in the moment. Because it's like when you're there, when you're in it, it's like finding the tools to transform is like, that's the most challenging thing. So it's really, I invite you to write this down and put this everywhere you go, because it's like having that tool in front of you when you're in the moment will just save the day. So when you're in it, when you're on it, you come into you stop, you come into your heart, you're going to close your eyes. So let's go ahead and just do that right now. So let's go ahead and close our eyes. And I like to put my hands over my heart like this because it just gets me connected to that authentic space. So I'm going to close your eyes and let's just take a couple deep breaths. So you're going to breathe in slowly, and I want you to imagine the oxygen coming in through your heart. And when you're exhaling, I want you to imagine the oxygen leaving through your stomach area. So I want you to just keep inhaling slowly on the count of 5. Inhaling and exhaling. Now I want you to start thinking about a time where you felt lots of love, lots of gratitude. Maybe it was a time where you were on the beach watching the sunset. Maybe you were with one of your best friends and you were just having the most amazing time, laughing, sharing beautiful moments. Or maybe it was a time where you were with one of your favorite pets, maybe a doggy or a kitty, and they're just being so cute. Just keep breathing in that gratitude and allowing those mental pictures to form in your mind. And as you're doing this, I want you to realize that you're activating your heart's intelligence. You're connecting your heart and your mind together. You're creating a coherent waveform that's connecting you to this universal realm around you. This universal consciousness that gives you access to all knowledge, infinite knowledge and wisdom. And this is how you connect with it, is through the power of gratitude. This is a technology. This is a secret technology that has been withheld, but now it no longer is.
Thank you for sharing this, Livia. It's so simple.
It is so simple.
So simple.
And so, once you refer to it as a technology, I think maybe we take it a little bit more seriously. Not like as a matter of being significant about it, but it's kind of like, if you don't really get the amazing benefit of it, like it's a technology for the soul, like technology to live, like a life and like win in life. Like if you don't like acknowledge it like that, it's something that you can just kind of toss under the rug. And I feel like a lot of people do, right? It's like when we talk about gratitude, we don't really get the power of it. So just get the power of gratitude.
And actually use it.
It is a science. It's a technology that gives you access to universal infinite knowledge and wisdom.
It's like your vitamin. That's
Vitamin
what I
G.
got when I went to Vipassana. I'm like, I meditate because, we worry so much about, oh my God, in the future, you're going to get heart attack, you get diabetes, da 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 da. But I'm like, if you just sat down and came to your, like you said, your heart place and had a moment of silence and get to that vibration, like I believe that meditating and everything can heal those things that we're so afraid of. And so I always tell people, I'm like, meditate. If you have to call it like your vitamin or your daily exercise or your technology, whatever you want to call it, that makes you diligent and makes you be aware, then whatever. I don't care what you call it, meditating, whatever, your quiet time.
Just take it on.
Just do it, because I believe it heals, and we don't have to be in, all this surgery and all this stuff. Things are going to happen, but just taking these little moments out your day.
All day long.
Yeah. Shit.
Livia, can we do another practical thing?
Yes.
Just a question that people may have, like, somebody who's like a business owner, like, how do I become a conscious entrepreneur? Like, where can I start? Like, just a starting point, or maybe something they can take on.
Yeah, so discovering your true authentic purpose, I think, is the most important thing. I think a lot of times us as entrepreneurs, we always look at the bottom line. Like going into business, okay, so what business is the most profitable? I can't tell you. I mean, that's really the world I've been in the majority of my young adult life, is people teach how to focus on profit maximization, how to make money in business. That has been the focused attention. Well, now you wonder why our world is not working. I mean, come on, like we're focused on the wrong things. Let's focus on your purpose first, discovering your true authentic purpose, not my mom told me my dreams were pie in the sky when I was 16 and now I'm out to prove her wrong, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So first, let's get that transformed. Let's get you to discover your true authentic purpose, and then let's talk about profits. But I don't even want to talk about profits until we discover your purpose, because there's no point.
That's what's up. Livia, I got to say, that book, you could still write it. That's a fantastic
But from
title.
that space, not from like I'm proving something. It's more like, oh, I learned that. I just got to find out.
Yeah, that's one of your social conscious entrepreneur. But that's a great title, girl. And it's like,
oh my God, where do I send royalties to?
Spin it.
But like, that's when my Dharma path, started, when my mother told me that, and like, boom, this is what I created. And
awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Amazing. So yeah, my first thing is to use that tool, come into your heart space, and then ask yourself, because you have your little I and then your big I. So your higher self, your heart, which that's how you get there, is through this inner guidance system, which is these neurons in your heart that are a super highway to this intuition, this universal consciousness that knows way more than you do. And then just ask yourself, what is my mission? What is my purpose? What have I been sent here to fulfill? And then be quiet and be patient and allow it to unfold. And I can't tell you how many times I've done that. But what I didn't do was have the patience to listen. Instead, I get impatient and I start taking the old actions. Right. So it's like, because it's so easy to go back to like, no. I got to prove that I can make it. So, and then you get distracted, right? So then you get distracted and sidelined again. So I've spent and that's probably why I'm so passionate about this, because I've spent the last 10 years even knowing these principles, still not listening to the purpose. Now I am. And the last 3 weeks, I've been traveling the world speaking, being in media, just blasting my message to the world that Livia Caudell is no longer chasing money, no longer doing things that are not in alignment with my purpose. I am 100% focused on my mission and my purpose, which is to spread this message right here. And I'm following that. I've got so many opportunities to make money doing real estate and all this other crap. And it's just like distraction. And I'm not saying that isn't a part of your purpose. It could very well be a part of your purpose, but that's where you got to tune in to see if it is for you. And for me, it's not. This is what my purpose is. This is what my mission is.
So inspiring and so refreshing, Livia.
Thanks, Bea.
Oh my God, yes. I love what you said about like no distractions. There's so many, especially if you're not clear. Because the first thing you said, like when you said close your eyes and think about your purpose, I could see so many people saying, but there's so many things coming to mind, or there's nothing coming to mind.
Yeah.
There's one thing my teacher told me that has helped me to hear that voice in my heart. She said the voice that's the most radical is the voice of your heart.
And sometimes it's so simple. Like, it's the one that says the most simplest thing. Yeah. You're like, that. Wait, what?
But then it ends up being that. The mind goes, what?
What you talking about, Willis?
I always say it's the one that gives me the most aliveness when I think about it and when I visualize it. But then it's having the courage to listen to it. And then also what I find is it's like, throughout my life, I've had these great ideas, right? And I still do. But it's like, how the frick do I implement it? How do I turn this into profit so I don't have to go back to doing things I don't want to do to make money, And so it's, and I'm still discovering that newly for myself, but I'm starting to see things open up, and one thing that you could do if you've got a message is doing exactly what you do, Z, is having a show, having a blog, writing a book. Like, there's so many different ways that you can start the process.
Yes.
And it's an unfoldment too. Discovering your purpose is not going to happen overnight, but you got to start somewhere.
Well, you know what I see from you? You're very like diligent. Even though you might not have all the answers, you're very diligent in what you're doing. And you're very focused and you're like, okay, I'm still discovering what that is, but you're focused and you're diligent and you're clear. And I think that's like the first step is knowing, being committed, because you're going to have days where you're like, oh my God, why am I doing this? And like you said, the old mind is going to come up, but it's just like, wait a minute.
Yeah, like I can't tell you. So when I said yes to going to Dhaka and Dubai to speak, I had no clue what I was going to speak on. All I know is that I declared myself when I was like into my heart's intelligence. What channeled and what came through was Livia Caudell, conscious entrepreneur, visionary leader, author, and world-renowned speaker, best-selling author and world-renowned speaker. And I wrote it down, and I'm like, I've never really done public speaking. I've never wrote a book. I'm like, I don't know, like, why this is coming through. And then the universe, of course, will create the opportunities.
I'm so inspired.
So it was like I connected with my heart. I said, okay, universe, what am I supposed to do 2016? I'm tired of doing it the hard way. I've read so many books that say, if you just live your purpose, it'll all get sorted. And why is it not getting sorted? What am I doing wrong? And then I just finally surrendered. I said, you know what? For the first time in my life, I'm not going to try to figure it out. I'm going to play a game called Surrender and Allow the Universe to Deliver.
Let go and let God.
And that's what letting God means. Like, here I was, like, what does that mean? And what do I do to let go? And how do I let God? And it literally is letting it go. I mean, it's challenging, right? But it's kind of like, how do you let go of this pen? Can't kind of let go of it, which is what I was doing. I was kind of letting go of the pen.
Olivia, just to humor us, because we have a minute left, can you let go of the pen on the screen? Because I really want to see you do it.
Ooh.
Surrender.
Livia, do you want to take us out with something? We have a minute left. You want to take us out with a song, a prayer, a meditation, anything you want. We'll even put some background music for you.
Yes, no, I want to end this and close this. Not even end. I want to close this with a meditation. I want you to close your eyes and come into your heart space right now. And I want you to take a deep breath. And no matter where you're at in your life, maybe you're at the top of your game or maybe you're at your lowest low, no matter where you're at, just take a deep breath in. And ask your higher self, what and how can I fulfill my life's mission? Assist in the transformation and evolution of the planet to my highest and best capability. Because there's always what's next. There's never a destination, there's only a journey. And what I know now could be totally different next week. Allow yourself to be in the present moment and allow yourself to discover newly each and every moment. And I invite you to take this on as a practice for just 5 minutes every morning. As soon as you open up your eyes, close them and come into your heart space and ask the universe to guide your day. Allow yourself to surrender each and every moment to your life's purpose. Thank you.
Love you, sister. Thank you so much for who you are. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace out, everybody.
Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.